Okay.
Okay, audio probably sounds better, actually.
Doom.
Welcome back to the Keep Your Torch Lit podcast. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Sarah.
Jack, your turn.
Why is it my turn? This is a terrible start.
I'm Sam.
I'm Jack. Wait.
Well.
Start over.
I'm gonna keep that unedited.
Oh gosh. This start is poop on a stick. Poop on a podcast to start out. Am I right, guys?
I don't know.
I know. I think that this podcast start was almost as bad as the fake idol. Which means that it'll be good enough to fool somebody into thinking that it's a good start.
It's true.
Oh. Low blow.
Oh, low blow.
That's almost as savage as Noah being removed from the group me.
Oh, Noah's been removed from the group.
No.
That was so awkward. Do you guys remember that happening?
Yeah, that was like...
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a thing they were going to do every time. Like, they started doing it every time, but I didn't realize it was a thing until it was like, wow, Noah's just out of the group now.
Yeah.
It was such a weird, finality to it. Like, I don't know, it didn't seem real. And then all of a sudden, boom, no more Noahs.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, more Noah. The Ohana family has just lost a member.
Yeah.
Aww.
He got left behind and forgotten.
That's really sad.
Oh my gosh. Poor Noah. At least he'll have more time to ice his knees. So
But you know who didn't get left behind was Jack.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm still here.
It's still so happy. Yeah. How was your reaction just knowing, like, getting out of the first tribal council, knowing like I will not be the first one voted off?
It was a really great feeling because I think that's a lot of people's fear. Like I said that in the episode, like,
yeah,
you know, you go into this and you don't want to be the first one out. Like you kind of built this thing up for so long in your head, and then like it's just like the worst fear for it. Just one episode and boom, you're done. So
I know. I feel that a lot. It would be very horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember getting out of it and just like that relief of like it's over with. Like there we go. And we were just thinking, like, we just need to win the next challenge, and then we won't have to go back.
Yeah.
Like, tribal council is not a fun place to be.
It's not. Because, like...
It's nothing about it is fun.
Like, the fear when, like, the votes are being read, it's like, oh my god, is everything a lie? Like, it's just
I know,
terrible.
Like, every time you're thinking, like, one of these could be my name. Like,
exactly.
You know. Yeah. No, it was... But we all came out of it, and we see Jack with Bree and Sarah Avery, kind of like a random... group. I don't remember how that happened.
Yeah, how'd that happen? I don't remember.
I don't know. I think because I think I started giving Bree rides home. So you actually see one of those rides home in this episode, like where it's just me and Bree in the car, because she lived on North Campus, which if you don't go to University of Michigan, we've talked about the North and Central Campus difference before, but it's a whole like 10-minute drive up. So so I would usually the challenges and travels and stuff like that, and so I'd give Bree a ride home sometimes. So I think I was about to give her a ride home, and then Sarah Avery also too, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. A bit of insider info on this one is I actually saw this whole thing happening because I was like a couple buildings over at the LSA building, like creepily spying on you three. And like just watching you guys all talk.
Oh my god!
And then eventually Sarah Avery separated from you two, and I like ambushed her. And I'm like, Sarah, we need to talk right now.
Whoa.
And then that was the film. And that was what you saw on film of like just awkward angle of like Sarah just filming my face.
again with
okay.
the simulation.
Yeah.
Now we have
and
the
it's
simulator.
POV.
Yeah. Well, this is actually the mom simulation because you're seeing from mom's perspective.
Okay.
But so yeah, do we want to talk about? This is all as a result of the conversation that the three of us had right before tribal council.
Yeah, we were.
Where it wasn't really shown in episode 1.
Right. We were like, so us three are solid. We were like, we definitely want to work together, but we're like, we definitely want to pull in 2 more for the majority. We're kind of thinking like, who do we want to pull in? I kind of pulled in Bree because I remember
it being kind of like a thing where we all had to negotiate who we were going to bring in because like I remember that like there was Bree, Maggie, Abby, and Sarah Avery, and I think like if it was up to me, it would have been Abby and Sarah Avery, because those are the people that I've been talking to more and like trusted more. I think that all of us kind of agreed. We weren't really sure about Maggie. And didn't really know if we wanted to bring her in.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like in that I was like, I kind of wanted it to be Abby and Sarah Avery. Sarah, you kind of wanted it to be Bree.
Yeah.
And Sarah Avery. So I feel like we kind of like, I feel like we kind of, or maybe, yeah, I feel like we kind of compromised. I'm like, well, I want Sarah Avery, and I guess like Abby's just not going to be, and then Sarah X can have Bree, then I guess like Abby's just not going to be in the alliance.
Yeah, I don't really remember who I wanted.
Jack was just along for the ride.
I feel like
Jack
was cool with.
Yeah, I was cool. I was cool with Bree and Sarah Avery because like,
yeah,
I don't think I had any special connection with either of them at that point. But like, I was definitely like,
yeah.
Well, I also think we thought Sarah A would be like a target to keep around.
We know, we did say that.
Yeah.
We did say that. Mm-hmm.
I really wanted her in the alliance because like. I brought it up probably infinity times about like, oh, we have matching water bottles.
Like,
but like, we had a
line.
really good we had a conversation where I felt like we really, really vibed with each other. And like, I was like, oh, we both like, you know, have the same faith and the same values. And I felt like that would like go a really long way as far as like having Sarah like be really honest with me.
Right.
Which like you can see in this episode, she did tell Kevin that like at the time, like, oh, Sam is my number one right now in Ohana.
Mm-hmm.
So I did really feel good about Sarah A.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really bad about Abby not being in the alliance because like I did make that whatever pinky swear with her. And I know like I don't know how you guys felt about like not including Maggie at the time, like, but I know that Maggie and Jeremy was kind of like on everyone's minds as of the whole like.
So for me, I know Bree really didn't like Maggie.
Yeah.
So like Bree was like, make sure like Maggie's not in it. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remember Maggie? So Noah told me that Bree doesn't know how how she feels about me. And they're like, me and Jack just like look at each other like.
Yeah, I just remember feeling very uneasy about Maggie at that point in time because at the same in one hand like I felt like she had a good relationship with me, but then I was just so scared of the whole Jeremy thing. Like I did not want to be the third person in a showman's alliance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The third, I didn't want to be third wheeling, you know. So like I was just like, you know, if I can just keep her out of things and maybe like come back to her at some point if I need to, then that's fine.
Yeah,
right. That makes sense.
But so who told Bree about the alliance? Was it Jack in the car ride, or did Sarah kind of like update Bree afterwards?
I definitely texted her after.
I
told her like about the 5, and she was really about it.
Because I talked to Sarah Avery right after. I think that we probably split up. Like I talked to Sarah Avery right after Tribal. Jack drove Bree home, but Sarah probably texted Bree.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's how we kind of see the formation.
We made a group chat.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did make a group chat of the Bunny Group Project.
Mm-hmm. AKA Bunny Alliance. Sarah A.
Yes, the Bunny Alliance.
Sarah A.
I know, it was so random. We were just like, we should think of something to name this after so people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He was like, I want it to be Bunny.
And then Jack was like, yeah.
Yes, I love bunnies.
It's so random. So we see the formation of the Bunny Alliance, new power alliance on Ohana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Mom gets a message that only leaders are going to be there for the next challenge. She was kind of freaking out a little bit about that.
Yeah, only the leaders are coming. I remember being really anxious about what was going to happen.
Yeah. We definitely thought she was going to have to compete for us.
And I remember I was really pumping her up that she was going to do great, but in the back, that Kevin guy seems kind of scary. I don't know. I feel like he could do something.
I know. Yeah, because we already kind of had. I think that our tribe at the time, we already did not like Kevin because of the whole thing where he ran to our tribe. Was like, well, actually, wait, no, that was during the challenge. Never mind. Where he went, boo, Ohana, boo.
But I think even somehow through the first challenge and stuff, he's somebody who stands out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's he's got his eyebrow. He's very animated. He talks with his eyebrows. And
Sarah, didn't you say that somebody recently sent you a text saying that he looks like somebody else?
Well, this wasn't a text. One of the comments was that he looks like Manila Luzon out of Drag, and so I Googled it, and he really does.
Oh my god.
He looks exactly.
We should like
Or
tweet like a
her.
side by side.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Kevin's a secret drag queen, which, you know.
Love it.
But he's also super hetero, so I don't know how that works. We'll see. But
Well, maybe he's so hetero to cover up the drag queen side of him, you know?
Well, he did, yeah. Yeah, he does have his that's true. I mean, he did kiss Nick.
Because how can somebody be that hetero? You know, he's just
He's so hetero. He's so hetero.
He's so hetero.
So hetero. He's so hetero. He's so hetero. I am by far the sneakiest, by far the best looking, and by far the most hetero.
Oh my god.
that's a good
So yeah, Jeremy will only kiss Maggie. I'm sorry. That's how it is.
Yeah, it jumps right into Sarah and Kevin after the theme song, and they're like challenged to see if they want to take this freaking idol clue for a 5.5 point deduction. What would you guys have done?
Mm-hmm. I think that they made the right choice.
Yeah, you gotta take that. Come on.
Especially if both of them were gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they have kind of like a connection going on between them. They're talking about,
it's good. Yeah,
they did the right thing.
I think it's the fact that they know Daniel is like perfect. Like they already had that connection with each other. Like the two of them both know Daniel. Like I feel like that's definitely incentive for them to want to work with each other.
Which is why I don't understand why Kevin does the thing he does. We can get to that.
I know. I know.
I'm sure we'll talk at length about that later.
Kevin's so chaotic.
He is very chaotic.
So they both choose to get a clue to the idol.
Yes, but Kevin seems to be a lot easier to find.
I know, yeah. He goes, it's in the chem building.
He instantly knows where it is, yeah. And he's a freshman. Like, he does not know this school very well. He knows.
I know. Well, it's because he's a freshman, and freshmen take Gen Chem, so he probably knows.
That's true. Only freshmen take that class.
Yeah, only freshmen and sometimes super seniors. So, just so you know, I'm a super senior taking Gen Chem. It's the last class I need to get my engineering degree. So, just finishing up with Gen Chem with all the freshmen.
Nice.
Nerd. Okay, anyways. It's because Sarah A's clue says like a bush, whereas Kevin's literally says
30 million bushes on this campus.
Yeah, and Kevin's basically like, go to the chem building and dig in a tree. He finds it pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. And it looks a little bit different than the one I found. There's a whole plastic bag. There's a little instructions thing. Like, it's a lot bigger for one thing. Like, I don't know. And wait, why did they do that hashtag thing when he found one? When I got mine, I had a big hashtag flashing the screen. Where's his big hashtag?
Hashtag and idol. And idol.
And idol.
You only get the hashtag if you sing the theme song. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Abby sings the theme song in the episode, and she doesn't. She isn't going to be hashtags.
That's true. I love how Sarah Avery in Confessional is like, we found the idol in the chem building. Well, Kevin found it.
I know.
Like, I feel like it's very clear. Like, I mean, we found it together, but it's actually Kevin's idol.
Right.
Like, she really doesn't have any control over that idol at all.
Yeah.
So, what do you think would have happened if Sarah found the one in the chem building? Do you think Kevin would have like made her give it to him because it was like technically?
I don't know.
This is really an idol.
Right.
This really an idol.
I've seen Kevin doing that.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, oh, Sarah, thank you so much for finding our team's idol. Here, I'll keep track of that for you, and then I'll help you find your idol. Then I'll give that one to you.
I can see Sarah A being like, you know, this idol's for both of us, and whoever goes to tribal this week will give it. You know, that person can have it for the week. I can see her being like that.
Yeah, and then probably. But, anyways, he gets the idol and he wears it around his neck. He's very proud.
Very proud.
Very proud.
Kevin talks about planning a fake idol that Bailey had already talked about. And he's like, is it okay if we bring Bailey into this? And then Sarah says, like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to bring whatever Sam into it? And she says
nah.
She doesn't want to yet. Yeah. So I'm interested in the fact that I really don't know where Sarah's true trust lies. Because she tells Kevin that her number one person on Ohana is me. She also tells confessionals that Daniel is the one she trusts the most. Yet she withholds information from me and from Daniel and tells it to Kevin. So I really am curious if Kevin is actually who she really trusts the most? And if so, why does she never say it? Like,
Yeah.
she says one thing about who she trusts, but and her actions reflect that she really trusts Kevin the most.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so something to kind of keep track of. I'm just curious about that because, like, especially we'll talk about it later. The fact her telling Kevin that Daniel no longer trusts him was a really big thing because that's something that I think ended up directly ruining Daniel's game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm curious why she would tell it to Kevin if Kevin's not actually her true number one.
Yeah.
You know? So something we'll keep track of. But yeah, Sarah decides to not tell anybody. Kevin decides to bring Bailey into it, and we're off to the races.
Yeah. Wait, so did the challenge happen that night, or was it the next day? I forgot.
Well, they said that it's about a day and a half, right?
Yeah.
I think it started in like the evening on one day and went all the way through like 10 p.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we go into my drama? That was probably happening during.
Oh yeah. The same day.
Insider info.
So while Kevin was finding his idol, I was experiencing a breakup.
Whoa.
Okay, it's like not funny though.
Yeah.
It was like it was kind of a long relationship, and like we broke up like while Kevin was fighting his idol, and then a few hours later, or maybe like 1 hour later, we get these messages that we have to go do these scavenger hunts, and I'm like a hot mess. I was literally
Oh my gosh,
like,
that's
my
Like,
God.
this is the last thing in the world you want to be doing.
I remember like briefly thinking like I'm never gonna win Survivor. Like, how am I gonna win this anymore? That my team's gonna hate me because I'm not gonna be into this. And then I remember the next day being like, all right, well, now I'm gonna win this shit because
Yeah.
I have to like I don't know. I was like, I'm a badass and I'm gonna win this shit. But that night I was not in that mind state. So I remember like going around with all of like Ohana, and like I had the biggest migraine. Like I was actually about to like faint because my head hurts. It was like pounding. I was like
That's
not
horrible.
in the mood to socialize. This is why you don't see me a lot this week, because I'm like I didn't do a lot of the actual stuff in Scavenger Hunt because I was not in the best mood. And actually the only person I told about it was Bree. I texted Brie because I was like, there was all that midnight stuff happening, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go to that. And like I told her why, because I didn't want her to think I was like not being helpful. But yeah, that's kind of why I was a little absent this week. And
definitely
why
makes
my
sense.
eyes are like puffy in most of these shots. If you look closely. But yeah.
That sucks. That's hard.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, thankfully, we did not have to go to tribal council.
Yeah.
That would have been really awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot, and definitely hard to like. It was a lot just like living a normal student life, let alone having a breakup going on.
Yeah.
So no, that's hard.
But actually, like,
we had.
No, it was actually nice though to get out and like get my mind off of things. To be honest, I was just really like exhausted, I think. But yeah.
Well, yeah, it was hard because we had to do all these tasks, and like everyone was like, we're gonna do them right now. And I'm like, I have like a giant report due tomorrow. I have a group project meeting for 4 hours. For like, they wanted to work on it like starting at 9 p.m. and going all night. I'm like, is my tribe gonna be super pissed at me? Like, what do I do? I remember like ducking out of my meeting and telling them like my car broke down and making up all this stuff, and like going with Ohana for a little while, then like leaving, go back to my group project, and like kind of like half committing to both things. Like it was just horrible. It was such bad timing, and like there were so many things to do. Like the things that were shown were maybe like 5% of the total tasks we had to do. Like we had to do so many of them.
What were the ones that weren't shown? I remember some. So there was
all
one,
kinds.
I was on Sarah A's back, or I think it was Maggie or someone, and they like piggybacked across the library. We were like running the shelves, and then I remember Maggie twerking on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you have to ask somebody if like to take a picture of their Canada Goose or something?
Yeah. Yep. You had to do that.
I took a picture with some Canada Goose. I
had to go to Pancheros with like a Chipotle burrito, and then like go in line, and then like get to the end of the line, and then when they ask me what I want, I say no, I'm good, and show them I got a burrito from another restaurant. And we had to film it twice because the first time we filmed it vertically by accident, and the producer said they wouldn't accept any vertical film.
Oh my god!
So I had to go through a second time and do it horizontally, and that was really awkward. It was like
so
me,
funny.
Abby, and Sarah Avery.
That's so awkward.
It was.
I remember I solved the Rubik's Cube. I did all the lame ones.
Yeah.
Rubik's Cube.
I remember I had to sled down a hill and there was no snow anymore, so I just like remember running and just like skidding down a hill.
Oh my gosh.
I have the spreadsheet up now. I had to play Baby and the Ugly by accident on my laptop speaker so everybody can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So awkward. You like blasted Baby. This is like a library, like Baby by Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
So awkward.
We had one reminiscent. It was so loud. We had one reminiscent of Mitch, which was call your mom and tell your mom that you love them.
Oh, who did that?
So I had to do that one.
Oh,
I did that
okay.
one
That's
right
an
after
intro
we did the
sequence.
I did it while that's my intro is me on the phone with my mom.
Aww.
So there you go, a little tidbit.
Oh, one thing else fun. Bree did the Matthew Israel First Confessional Challenge, where you have to list off all of the Survivor seasons in a row.
Wait, guys.
I remember that.
I remember.
Yeah,
I actually was intimidated by that.
Guys, I remember me and Maggie climbed onto the roof of the art building.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember this so well. And then also, why did we go to Tappan Middle School? We totally went to Tappan Middle School.
You had to.
Oh, we definitely. I remember that.
We had to go to your local high school or middle school. So like Mallory, I remember she went running on like a she like went running. She like loves running so much. She like went on a big run, went to like the middle school, went to the high school, ran to Washtenaw Dairy, got like that was another one of the tasks. Like Mallory did like a big like marathon because she was training for a marathon, and like on her run she did like a bunch of tasks.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So she's just like sweaty in like half of hers.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Like Abby. Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of Abby, she sang the Survivor theme song.
Yeah, on the loudly on the front steps of Angel Hall. If you don't know what Angel Hall is, it's a big, huge auditorium that kind of looks like, I don't know, kind of looks like a government, like with the pillars.
Yeah, it looks like the Supreme Court or something.
Yeah. So it's a really big, like kind of public hall that everyone knows. And she had to stand on the steps in front of like everyone and just like loudly sing.
That was in the episode.
Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, it was.
That was in the episode.
We're talking about ones that made it. Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
Daniel did a lot of the scary ones though. The very scary ones.
I loved him going to the Ross student and like proposing the like ice cream thing.
The battery packs, yeah.
You know,
that was so great.
He was sad. He didn't get any advice from her, but you know,
that was so funny.
Maybe he could have gotten some advice to save his game.
Ooh,
that's the advice he really needed.
True. We also saw Daniel run up the chem building and propose in the middle of a lecture and ask a girl if she wanted to be the final rose.
Do you think that girl thought he was like her secret admirer?
Maybe.
Yeah, what is she thinking in this?
She said yes.
I love that she accepted. She was like, sure. Yeah.
You know,
he knocked out 2 tasks at once with that one. He did. It was like one of them was run up the steps of Angel Hall of like the chem building, and then after lecture. Another one was to ask a random girl if she'll accept your final rose. So he did both at once.
Efficiency.
I feel like he probably thought like if I'm gonna do something embarrassing, might as well do 2 embarrassing things at once and get it over with.
Get it over with. Yeah.
Well, the professor was really funny. He was like,
cost $190 in tuition.
He was not happy about that.
He was like, I beg your pardon.
Leave. What are you doing? Leave.
Leave. Okay, and then we have Mike being a bro. Literally all his tasks were bro stuff.
It was so great. Team Cerulean, go Team Cerulean. Go Team Cerulean. 68 straight days in the gym.
That was so funny.
Yo, we really out here.
We're really out here. Yo, we really out here.
I love Mike so much.
Yo, Bradley, hand me my my headphones. My speaker. That's what it was.
Oh.
I feel like there's not a lot of Survivor players. They're just like genuinely just frat guys. Like he is just fully so frat and just like almost like plays it up.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
Well, guys, it's 9 a.m. I have class in about 15 minutes, and I'm just gonna take a peppermint patty right here. And he just takes the peppermint patty. He goes, What did he say? He's like nutritious?
No,
just something like that.
He was like pretty good.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
Why do I have this?
He's just taking that peppermint patty as humble as he can, you know.
I have these episodes memorized.
Jeremy petted an animal because he loves all animals.
He does love all animals. He did pet it, did it?
Oh. What else did Jeremy do?
He did like one where he had the pencil dive in the pool. He did like the weightlifting one. He did the kissing one.
Jack, when you did the King of the World thing in the Union, how many people were there? And did you get any weird looks?
Well, actually, fun fact about that, we did that one twice too. Like Sam's burrito test. Like the first time, it didn't record correctly.
Oh.
And then, like, we definitely got a lot of weird looks, and even more weird looks. And like, what the heck are these people doing this Titanic thing again?
I love that. Like, your name is Jack, so like perfectly fits.
Whoa.
Like, I love this Titanic theme.
Oh, I know.
Wait,
I know.
The funny thing though is that Jack's mom name is Rose.
I know.
Oh yeah. Aw, that's so perfect.
Kevin was being annoying when we were doing our mannequin challenge.
Boo, Ohana! Boo, Ohana! Boo, Ohana! Boo!
Boo!
What do you say? He says something else like,
You think you could do
You
yoga?
think you can do this?
Well, my favorite part was that Jeremy like fell in the back. You can like see him.
I know. Kevin actually messed him up. I thought that was.
He's an intimidator.
So I guess Jeremy's not by far the best at,
standing still.
But that's the best at standing still, but he is the most athletic.
He is the best athletic as well.
He's the best athlete. I'm by far the best athletic.
Strategist.
I am not I don't even like standing still.
Strategist.
I'm by far the best strategist in this game
of all time. Okay.
Also.
Yeah. So if we didn't already hate Kevin so much by that point, this is where definitely Kevin really got. Top of Ohana.
I think it's just kind of like Ohana and Cerulean. I think it's kind of interesting to track like the animosity between tribes. It seems like the first challenge is a little. You hear something about like Ohana means family, not like
kindness.
Nice. What was it? Not kindness. Yeah. Ohana means family, not kindness. And then this episode, we see Kevin kind of like egging on Ohana. We also see like a weird kind of thing happen after the challenge, which we can talk about. Of like the teams are kind of like, I don't know, kind of like jabbing at each other and trash talking a little bit. So, but yeah, this definitely was a start of like, we're like, oh, Kevin's the worst. I remember in our bunny group chat, we're like, Kevin's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, Maggie ate some hot wings.
Oh yeah, it was so gross. Oh,
how many water?
A lot of good ones too. I wonder, should she eat the hot wings right before she kissed Jeremy? That's something I'm curious about. The same day.
I mean, it was a pretty hot kiss. Am I right?
Oh.
There's a bunch.
I remember one that we had to talk about that wasn't filmed.
Oh, what was it?
What?
When we walked into the classroom.
Yes! All of us
this is a good story.
Oh my God. Yeah. We all walked in and we stood in the back. We literally just stood there and the professor was like...
Oh, we had our red buffs on, like, over our faces.
The task was get as many tribe mates as possible to all go to the same class together. So we all met in, like, Mason Hall. We gathered everybody together and we all, like, put on our buffs. And we all just filed into like an auditorium in Angel Hall with a class that none of us were in. We all like stood in the back for a while, filmed it. And the professor like got really weirded out by like these quiet people standing in the back with like these bandanas. Like, what are they doing?
I think we got kicked out.
I think we just left, but they like chased after us, right?
Yeah, Jack. Remember, it was me and you. Well, I think we did a bunch of stuff. We did some more stuff. We split up. Me, Jack, and Sarah Avery were together, and the professor from that class like recognized us because we still had our buffs on, and she like stopped all three of us.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And like I think me and you maybe didn't have our buffs on, but Sarah Avery still did. I remember her just like yelling at Sarah Avery, while me and Jack just kind of like stood back and like watched it happen, and she's like. I don't know who you are. Like, if you guys are a threat, like, I can't believe you guys did this and interrupted my class.
Oh my
and blah, 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 blah. Like, what club are you a part of? Like, what organization are you in? And we were like, I don't know. Like, we're not in. What? What are you talking about? And then, we finally, like, escaped from that. But Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
But actually, it was actually what happened right after that is the three of us were like, it's about lunchtime. We should go and get something for lunch. And I remember we all went to Walgreens. I bought some tofu. Sarah Avery went somewhere else, and then me and Jack went to ABP, a coffee shop in the Union, for me to eat my tofu.
Oh gosh.
And that took such a long time. Jack had like hours of tofu.
Yeah, I had a lot of
filming me trying to eat it.
Mm-hmm. And we talked a lot of strategy during that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, a lot of it got cut out.
Was not in there, but I remember we talked about like a lot of stuff. Like we talked about The Room. We were like quoting The Room back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like the first time the two of us really bonded over just like hanging out and like getting to know each other. Like I feel like that's like really our alliance started at the beginning, but this is like really where we kind of solidified it. I think.
Uh-huh.
I remember there was a point where you talked about the Survivor seasons you had watched.
I've seen every season. I've seen all of them. I'm a super fan. I'm the biggest fan of all time.
Maybe Ian cut all this part out because it actually spoils to the viewers that Jack has not seen every season.
Well,
because there's this part where I just go like, Jack, have you seen this season and that season and that season?
No.
He's like,
no.
I'm like, have you seen Token Teens? He's like, oh, I love Token Teens. I just compared you and me to JT and Steven.
It's one of those 3 seasons I've seen.
One of the few seasons.
Well, Jack,
but
when you got all the shout-outs, you also mentioned it at one point.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I was playing this up. I don't think I didn't say I'd seen every season. I said I'm such a big fan, which you can be a big fan and see not that many seasons, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Jack single-handedly got Adam Klein, Figgy, Rob, and Jay.
Yes, and it made it. But the thing is, this episode made it seem like I also got Shane Powers. I had nothing to do with getting Shane Powers. That was
I think it was Nick. It was something on Cerulean.
I take no credit for that, and Nick should get all the credit for that.
Yeah, and also
one funny story with this, Patrick from Heroes versus Hustlers. Lucy tried to get Patrick to give a shout out, and he did not answer until over a year later. Like I remember just like not that long ago. Lucy was like, "Oh, Patrick just responded from like during season 2 to give me a shout out."
I remember this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But otherwise, we would have got Patrick too. But it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, but yeah, I did get like 4 people though, because I wanted to win this challenge.
That was
like, you guys were saying earlier about how like you were kind of stressed out about all the things going on in your life justifiably, but I was definitely one of those people that was like, we have to do everything right now. Like the next hour we're gonna do 500 tasks, and I went so hard. Like I think I was like part of a lot of like team ones and group ones, but like I didn't really do that many like singular ones except for this one. I put a lot of time and effort into DMing like all these people, and yeah, I talk about it in the show. But
oh wait, guys, our editor Ian actually has some insider info about
insider info.
Well, last season was Jay insider info. So what is it now? Ian
insider
info.
Yeah.
Insider info. I love it.
That's perfect.
You may be wondering where the Ohana art sculpture thing came from that you can see them using during the Scavenger Hunt challenge, particularly when Ohana is using they're in the middle of the center of the diag, doing the mannequin challenge. That was actually painted by Maggie, who is an art major, and unfortunately for time we had to cut the portion of the episode where you see her painting it, and all of Ohana minus Noah signing it. It appears in a few more episodes and has its own little minor sort of arc, but there simply wasn't time to show it actually being made.
I remember Maggie was being like, do you think I should do this, or will it come off as like I'm being too pushy or like being too dominating? She was always thinking about this.
Yeah.
And then also, I remember running into Bailey. Don't you guys remember running into her when we were signing this stuff? Bailey was sitting in
I was
Mason.
late.
I remember that.
Yeah. She saw us all come in, and she was like, the look on her face.
No, and I remember, because I didn't really know who she was at that point. I actually remember that. I didn't realize she was on the other tribe at first.
Yeah,
we'd only really ever seen them at that first challenge. They weren't like ingrained in our memory yet. So I think she says to me, I talked to her. I thought like somebody was like friends with her, and then I realized, oh wait, no, she's on Cerulean.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
That's great. No, it was actually funny. That tribe flag, whatever we want to call it, is still. I have it right now.
What?
To this day. It's in my apartment.
Sam got it.
I was able to hold on to it somehow, and it's on my desk, and I love it because I'll go Team Ohana.
Team Ohana.
Red team.
Wait,
Red
but guys, we haven't addressed the engineering arch kiss.
Yeah, I mean, we have to save that to
God.
last. I mean, come on.
Should we talk? We haven't finished talking about the shout out. Should we talk about like what Shane said?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Guys, my cousin
Shane.
who lives in Ohio thought that was the funniest thing ever because he said "fuck Michigan." He said he paused the screen and laughed for like 5 minutes.
I don't like Michigan and their creepy elitist vibe. So is there any way that I can say I'm cool Survivor, but fuck Michigan? Is that all right?
He's so in character.
He's so great.
Perfect.
And that's what I hate the most about it, like making it seem like it's me, because I would love to claim that I got to communicate with Shane Powers and Shane Powers made something for me, but it wasn't me at all. Like, he's probably my favorite Survivor out of all of those people that I got. No offense to
Whoa.
Whoa. Adam Klein is definitely going to listen.
I know. Adam Klein.
I'll be very sad.
And Rob Cesternino, of course. I mean, they're all great.
Rob Cesternino. I love his podcast. This podcast is so inspired by his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That, seeing him shout us out was so great.
I love how he looked like he was reading something. He was like, shout out to Jack.
He has to go check.
What a name. Survivor Michigan leaders and best. What a name.
I'm pretty sure he thought that this was just some random org thing, like some random online Survivor game, not like a full campus thing. But,
that there's actually a podcast for it. It gets viewers and whatever, but
I posted on the RHAP patrons Facebook page about this episode, and he liked it. And I said thank you to it. So there's a chance he might watch this episode, but probably not. But a few other patrons did watch it, and they might be listening to this. So if you do, shout out RHAP patrons. Woo!
All right. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The kiss underneath the engineering arch.
Where do you even start?
Oh my gosh. I guess we start with what are they calling it? Nevin?
Yeah, Nevin.
Nick and Kevin? Nevin?
Kick.
So Bailey decides to get all sick and throw up. So now she doesn't want to kiss me anymore. So that's great. I need a guardian angel, a woman to step up on my team. But who steps up? My guardian angel. But I did not expect my guardian angel to be Nick. Oh my god. I just love how he had such a weird beef with Nick in the last episode, and then this is how it pays off in the next episode. That's just too perfect.
Mm-hmm. I love the editing interplay where he's where Nick is oh, he's probably gonna confessional that I'm you're such a weirdo, and then cuts right to him being Nick is so weird.
I just don't like Nick because he's kind of weird. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I was saying, do you think Bailey actually got sick? Or did she just not?
She doesn't want to kiss him.
Because Kevin, yeah.
The way he described it is all of a sudden Bailey has to throw up or something. So that's great.
I wonder if she just had to throw up because she was thinking about kissing Kevin,
Oh.
Sorry, Kev.
No.
Sorry, Kev.
Ooh.
Can we ask Bailey if she was really sick?
Yes.
That'd be a great question to ask.
Yeah.
But also, if Kevin and Nick get married, I want to be invited to that wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing though. Kevin is so hetero.
Mm-hmm.
He's so hetero. He's so hetero. He's so hetero. He's so hetero.
So what Survivor wedding's gonna happen first? Matthew and Brittany, or Mitch and Liz, or Nevin?
Nevin.
Or Maggie and Jeremy.
Nevin for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely most likely of the four. So then I just love how we have these two simultaneous things. They're both happening at the same exact time. Mm-hmm. And we just shift perspective to the other one, and it's completely different.
To be fair, this kiss is also very hetero. I would say almost more hetero.
True. It was more hetero.
I kiss the most hetero way possible. Nobody else kisses more hetero than me. I'm by far the best kisser. We need to lock lips a little extra to make sure that it was exactly midnight. Or just making sure it's locked in.
Lock it in.
I love how Kevin goes, we get the point. If you heard that part.
It's not a makeout sesh.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not a makeout sesh, guys. Like, stop kissing in front of your mom.
True.
She's seeing her own children right in front of her eyes.
Gross.
Of course she doesn't like it. Gross. We're a family. We're an Ohana family.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Of course, mom's not gonna love that. Mom does not love when people are drinking too much. As we saw that she did not like that. She thinks that when we saw Bree saying that Sarah Avery thinks Maggie is a drunk. Like, she doesn't like it when people are drinking too much. She doesn't like it when they're kissing in front of her. She's just being the mom. Yeah, how can you expect her to act any differently?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And then we kind of see this whole group of people circle around, and they're just talking about random things. They're talking about AJ. This is the first mention of AJ this episode.
Oh yeah. Well, AJ did one task, and it was because he was already at the gym.
As AJ would say, though, it's better to do one task than nothing at all.
That's true.
I just love it. That's like the one confessional he gets. Is like, some people might have said that I didn't put enough thought and effort into the task, but the way I see it is it's better to do one task than to do nothing at all.
AJ talks the least emotion I've ever seen in my life.
He does. He talks very kind of like quietly, and
he always looks bored.
And there's a couple of confessionals.
Wait, guys.
Yeah, I don't think.
Some insider info. I had a class with AJ. He was very quiet in class too. He like never came.
I love that, like, that the one thing he did was just lift weights in the gym. Like, and I love that it's in his title, his theme song. Like, you see him do it every episode.
He did not realize that Survivor had like an on-screen portion of it. Like, I feel like he's just dreading every second he's speaking in front of the camera.
Yeah. We did see Kevin with like Lucy and somebody else. Who was it? Was it Kevin with Lucy and Nick? And Kevin goes, "It's got to be AJ this week." And he like tells them both. That was like during the challenge portion. So it seems like at this point people are kind of leaning towards like AJ does not seem to be doing a lot right now. He doesn't even maybe know that he's on Survivor. I think he's just living his regular life. He just happened to be lifting weights, and then like somebody filmed that and submitted it for him. I don't know if AJ knows that he's actually on Survivor. I think he's just proceeding with his regular life. I think that like counsel and he's probably like, where am I right now? Am I just like, is this like a Ross? He thinks it's Ross. He thinks it's Ross networking. So he gets the name tag. He's like, I should write my name down on it, right? Yeah. But then they're like, no, you can't write your name down. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, it says, aren't we at a networking event right now for Ross? Like, shouldn't I be writing my name tag? He doesn't even know he's on Survivor at the moment. So that I guess makes sense as to why Nick would call him, what is it, poop on a stick?
Poop on a stick.
Poop on a brick. Here's the thing, power ranking, poop on a stick, poop on a brick. Which one?
I think poop on a brick is better.
Really?
I feel like poop on a stick is better because you can move it easily. Like on a stick, you pick it up and you can throw it away. Like, a brick.
Poop on a brick, it's gonna smell bad. It's gonna fry in the sun.
Yeah, I'm saying
it's gonna it stays there.
Brick because there's more space for it to like go on. With the stick, it's gonna get on everywhere else.
So are we ranking this like in how good it is or in like how bad it is?
No, and like which is worse? Like which do you want? Which is worse? If you have to get rid of one of them,
if you have to get rid of one,
poop on a stick.
I'd get rid of
poop on a stick. Poop on a brick.
Depends on what type of.
I get rid of the brick.
It depends on the type.
I'm actually curious. I'm actually curious what Nick thinks of when he described poop on a stick and poop on a brick. Which is AJ the poop on the stick or is AJ the poop on the brick? Which one is cheaty? The poop on a stick or poop on a brick? These are the things that keep me up at night. All right. So last thing is Mike with his bros. That's just such a wonderful sequence. That whole thing. I could watch it 100 times.
I already have.
And that the music in the background and like it's everything about it was so perfect. So bro. We get it, and that's the thing that happens right before we see everyone's on like a FaceTime with Cooper and Catherine Reed.
And Catherine Reed, friend of the cast.
Could we
friend of the podcast.
Aww.
Why did we do this over FaceTime again? Because we can all.
So everyone can see it once.
Okay.
Yeah. Cooper announces that the winning team
is Ohana.
Woo! And you can see me being
The funny thing is, right when he announced this, you can see Mike Baker has left the meeting.
Oh, he's pissed.
Need to know.
He's
I know
been
we lost,
pounds
right?
and days.
Done.
And
Yeah.
you can see me, so I didn't realize that they would be recording this whole like Google Hangouts thing. So I like have a camera recording myself. I just look like a kind of a tool, just like screaming into a camera, like into my phone. I look like some like like live streamer guy.
Nick gave me an answer on poop on a stick.
Oh, okay.
I don't really understand his answer, but I'll read it off for you. I said, Nick, is AJ poop on a stick or poop on a brick? And which one is Cheaty? He says, Cheaty would be the one on a stick. Because you can yeet the brick and all the shit will go with it. You can't yeet the stick the same way.
That's the opposite of what I said. You could definitely yeet a stick better than you can yeet a brick.
How do you eat a brick?
Not eat, yeet. Like,
Yeet.
get rid of it.
Oh,
Yeet.
yeet.
Yeah, like you can definitely yeet a stick. What is that? What? It's like you don't play fetch with your dog with a brick. You play fetch with a brick with a stick.
So is he saying it's easier to get rid of Cheaty? I'm not sure what that actually means.
I don't.
But it doesn't really matter.
I'm more confused now.
We have the answer for us. Cheaty is stick.
No.
Cheaty is poop on a stick, and AJ is poop on a brick. So there's the answer.
Okay.
I'm not satisfied, but we have it.
We have it. There you go. Love how in this post challenge thing, we kind of see like a little bit of like trash talking between like Bailey and Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, Abby goes like, so like, oh, now you guys can see how tribal council is, and Bailey would be like, yeah, because we didn't have to go last week. You guys did. He's like, what?
So sassy.
Yeah, this animosity is brewing.
So much.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper goes like, oh, okay, guys. Anyways.
Wait, there's like a quick flash of Akshay on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we get
really
an Akshay cameo.
I love
So
our cameos. The season 1 people.
So then Cooper releases the idol clues. And Team Ohana, the Bunny Lions, all decides we're going to look for the idol clue together.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the chem building.
Yeah, we were looking in the bushes. I remember I found a dead squirrel in the bush.
Yeah, I found a dead bird, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dead things in them. There's so much, when you're idol hunting, there's so much gross shit under those.
So much stuff. I collected some random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just not fun.
Again, like, I don't think this is even a choice, but like, play Survivor when it's warm. Do like the fall season at your school, where the winter season sucks.
So is this when Jack was searching for a super long time?
Yeah, I was.
Because he was doubting that his other idol was real.
Yeah. Because I realized, I saw the hashtag that flashed in front of my face and actually read it, and I'm like, oh wait, that's probably what that means. I think they kind of spoiled that for me.
So you're like, oh, hashtag not an idol probably means it isn't a real idol. I get it now.
I thought it was saying no tan. Man, okay. Faggot.
Okay. It's understandable. Understandable mistake. We all make mistakes. So were you like literally in the middle of filming and you just like saw
literally, I was in the middle of filming and I saw Abby and I just quickly like shut it off. Because you can actually, I kind of like cut off like a good time, but literally because I say like, there's a few reasons why I'm searching for it. Like the first reason why is like, I no longer have this. And I was about to be like, and the second reason why is, and I see like somebody in the bushes, I'm like, oh, that's definitely somebody.
So,
and I remember coming up on her and I was just like, hey, fancy seeing you here or something like that.
Yeah, I think that like it was awkward because like our whole tribe was looking for it. I remember earlier we like happened to randomly run into Maggie and we were like, "Oh, hey Maggie, we're not all here together or anything."
Yeah.
And I think we saw everybody except for Jeremy at some point while we were searching.
You want to know a really fun fact is that when I was searching for the idol with Abby, guess who came across us?
Noah?
While we were looking. Nope. You'll never guess.
Is it a Survivor person?
Yes.
Is it Nikhil?
It is Nikhil. It is the fashion icon himself. Came across
fashion icon himself.
No.
Yeah, he was literally.
He was like an angel sent from heaven to tell you guys that you guys are not wearing the correct fashion attire.
I'm sure my fashion was terrible.
That's such.
But did he come up to you guys and say? It was like an aura around him. He's wearing his Mario shirt. He says, you guys need to put on better shirts if you're going to be searching for the idol. You're going to be on film and you're going to be on YouTube.
Well, yeah, that's basically what happened. Yeah, yep, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically that was the first time that I had ever talked with Abby one-on-one. You know, I knew she wasn't in the Bunny Alliance, but like, she also wasn't really against her, and like, you know, so I just remember like being very much like, okay, if she finds the idol, I want to be here for it, and like, you know, if I find the idol and she's here, I'll probably sneak it into my pocket, but you know, if she sees me find it, then maybe we can have some sort of bond building. So, you know, you always have like for something to bond over when you're on Survivor. And yeah, and actually, yeah, I remember coming away from it thinking like it was just like perfect. Yeah, I even say that in the confession. I'm like, yeah, like fate led me right to Abby, and it was great. We were able to build this relationship, but fate was not able to lead me to the real idol.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
So,
Yeah.
very deep.
So Abby goes, I have an alliance with everyone in this game. I have an idol alliance with Jack. And she talks about, I think she talks about alliance with me, and she talks about like a girls thing that's going on. But it does kind of seem like Abby maybe isn't completely sure about what's going on in the game. It was good for her to make that deal with you, though. I mean, you know, I think that like one thing is if anybody ever offers you like an alliance or a bond, you gotta, what do you do?
You do check. Yeah,
you gotta accept. So
Yeah.
I think that was good on Abby.
Yeah.
Let's transition to Cerulean for the rest of the episode.
Cerulean.
We get to see a little bit more of the inner workings of Cerulean this time, which seems kind of confusing and convoluted. But like, I'm curious what you guys think. Where does the power lie in Cerulean right now?
I think with Bailey and Kevin.
Because last time we saw that there was this proposed alliance of all the guys plus Mallory. Did that just not become like completely not a thing? Apparently, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think it just seems like Bailey and Kevin are really running it. I think Mike also is low key in a really good position. He's just not as like out there about it.
Well, it seems like Nick and Mike are kind of pretty linked as far as being both in a spot where like they kind of talk together. It seemed like they're kind of swing votes. But I'm curious, like what are they swing votes between? Like, it feels like there's a lot of people that just aren't really maybe doing much. Like it isn't really shown what Lucy and Mallory are doing. It shows that Chidi is kind of connected with Bailey. Maybe Kevin, Chidi. I guess Daniel originally was with them, and then maybe Mike and Nick were with them too. It's really confusing. I think it's kind of confusing. I
think it's like Bailey and Kevin. It's a bunch of like pairs. I think almost.
That makes sense. There's Kevin and Bailey, Bailey and Chidi, Mike and Nick. We kind of see Nick and Mallory to an extent in the first episode.
Daniel and little.
Daniel and Kevin. Yep. Yeah. Well, that.
Daniel finds the fake idol.
He does. Yeah. So we see Ohana looking for the idol. Now we see Daniel talking about the idol's clue being released, and he runs exactly to where it is, like right away, and finds the fake idol like immediately.
What are your guys' thoughts on like putting out a fake idol if like you don't know who's gonna find it? Like,
I don't understand why, actually. Like, why people do it. I would say
I think there's definitely scenarios where it's beneficial.
I do think that like if you don't know who has it,
if
you don't know who has it, I mean maybe you're preventing them from looking further for the idol. But as soon as they play it, then they're gonna think like, wait, somebody else hid this, and then they'll know that somebody else has the real idol. I think in certain scenarios it can help. In this one.
So basically the scenario that I think it helps in is like if there's somebody who is a really big threat and you know has like played idols before, like you put it out there in an obvious spot so they find it and have a false sense of security and stop looking. So basically, like if you know they're going home except for if they play an idol, you do that to make sure they don't find an idol.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you find it with them, I think that it's like a good thing.
Yeah,
but in this case, like Kevin was hovering around the chem building. So if Kevin would have like watched to see like if he kind of like hid in a bush, like pulled like a Tony Blatcho, like made a little spy shack, hid in a bush, watched to see who went into the chem building, and then knew that Daniel had it, that would be very, very smart. Because it seems like he was around the chem building. He said it's been 15 minutes and somebody already found it. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird that Kevin 15 minutes later went and looked to see if it was still there because he easily could have been caught. He easily could have been caught, and somebody could have just stopped it. He found.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a little bit of a curious.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was kind of confused about. He got lucky that they didn't check when Daniel was there, and Daniel didn't see him, or that he didn't check before Daniel showed up, and Daniel saw him. Like he happened to go after Daniel.
Yeah.
It ended up working out for Kevin, where he knows somebody has it, but he doesn't know who found it.
When I think of Kevin, I just think of like a ninja, like running all over the place. I don't know why. Like,
Oh, that's so funny.
like a little
yeah.
Ninja mode.
Anyway.
I love how Daniel went. I think you kind of think that it's an idol for both tribes, and he was just like this horrible looking idol with like it doesn't have a note, but it's a horrible looking. It's a rock with like a string on it, and he's like, I really think this is real just because it has red and blue on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes, there's a chance that maybe because we had an odd number of points and like something was weird, maybe the like leaders like went and looked for it first and planted this fake.
Yeah, he was
and
really
completely
perceptive.
like 100% like perceives exactly what happened, but he doesn't really figure it out. Like he thought, oh, maybe there's a chance that this happened, but then you see him later, like he never actually says he thinks Kevin has it.
I know. Maybe if he still had his sense of smell, he could have,
sniffed that one out.
Oh my gosh, he could have sniffed out the maybe Daniel missing his sense of smell has like been hurting his perception.
If he had,
like he's close but not quite there.
Exactly.
He could have smelled Kevin's
or Bailey's
DNA or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah. Wonder what Kevin's scent is. Whatever freshmen use. Probably like tons of Axe.
Yeah. Well, so Kevin starts going crazy and it's like, we need to get Daniel out.
Well, he says that because Daniel goes to Sarah Avery and says, I'm a little bit confused. I think that Kevin's been lying to me because he told me that he was searching for the idol in the Arb, but he couldn't because there was deer hunting. And the thing is, it's not deer hunting season, and you can't hunt in the Arb. And then you see Kevin's like, yeah, it's kind of fair that he doesn't believe me. I probably wouldn't believe that one either. I'm like, what are you doing? You're telling a lie that you don't even believe?
Well, there is deer hunting, but
there is.
Because I remember,
in the Arb?
Yeah, there are sharpshooters, and I remember being scared walking through the Arb because I saw that sign.
All right, I think this should be our Instagram picture for this week. I'm gonna send it. I found a picture of the sign.
No
Literally,
way.
It says,
Okay.
it's part of the Arb is closed for sharpshooters 3 p.m. to midnight, January 8th through January 31, which is actually when the season's taking place.
It's true.
So that's the confusing part where it actually is true, but Kevin said, yeah, that was a total lie that I made up. I wouldn't believe it either. So you make up a lie that like you would not believe, and actually it turns out to be true, but you don't even know that. And then the other person doesn't believe it.
Because it's so
Daniel tells Sarah that this doesn't make sense to him, and she just goes right on to Kevin and says, by the way, Kevin, Daniel doesn't trust you. And I think that is what really set Kevin off. You kind of see what you were talking with Sarah, where he's like, Daniel needs to go.
Yeah, Daniel. Because also, Kevin wants to be the closest to Sarah, but I feel like, wouldn't Sarah be mad at him for doing this,
It doesn't make sense, because he's, by one hand, saying he's in control of Cerulean, but also, like, making up a lie that, like, he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of weird.
So then Bailey was saying, Chidi will vote her way, whatever. But then she also said at one point that Lucy is close to AJ. Like, where did she get that from?
Yeah. Well, that's when Nick goes, I think that Bailey is just completely paranoid right now. And Nick is just not taking all this, like, stupid stuff. He goes, they want to get a blindside now? Are you kidding me? Like, in the first vote?
Nick is not about a lot of things.
Whether it's a good decision.
Yeah, I feel like Nick's totally, should not have gone along. I don't know. But I guess Nick is in a hard place because it's kind of hard to go against what the majority of your tribe wants to do. But
so him and Mike are together here, and I think the vote ended up being 6-3. So if they switch, it would be 5-4 for AJ.
That's true.
Now, Mike wanted
Daniel out. He wanted Daniel out, but in his confessionals, he said it's only because Bailey wanted Daniel out. When I watched through his confessional for this episode, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not really in the loop this week. I don't really know what's going on, but I talked with Bailey." And he's like, "I don't think that anybody's been throwing anyone's name out, but I talked to Bailey, and Bailey told me that apparently Daniel's throwing her name out. So if he's doing that, I guess I'll go with Bailey."
Which is what Kevin had.
So it really all started. Which is what Kevin had planted to Bailey. It's not even true. Kevin just completely made it up. So it really all started with Kevin just making it up, and then Bailey getting that information and telling people. She told Mike, hey, Daniel's coming after me. We need to go after Daniel. And then, Mike and Nick kind of talked it over, probably decided we don't want to burn a bridge with Kevin and Bailey. Let's just vote with them. It'll be easier to do.
Yeah.
Because they had Chidi on their side. Chidi is with Bailey. and they ended up pulling in AJ. Kevin ended up telling AJ to vote for Daniel.
Well, AJ originally didn't go along with the plan, though. AJ actually flipped to the other side originally, and he went through the other side's plan, which was to vote out AJ. But then
My favorite
at the
thing is
last
that
second, he actually. Sorry.
I know.
Well, Matthew,
I love how a tribal council.
The Lion himself made an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew's secretly trying to control the vote. He's saying
he is. He's influencing.
You can't vote for yourself. You can't vote for yourself. You can't vote for yourself. One of my favorite parts of this is that, like, at Tribal, Cooper asked AJ, like, what are you going to base your vote on? He's like, I think that, like, I just want to base my vote on what's going to be the best for
the tribe.
Having a cohesive team. So he thought that him going home would make a more cohesive team.
Oh, my God. Well, also, one of my favorite parts is that Lucy doesn't talk to a single person. And she just goes, I'm going to vote for AJ. Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't care what anyone else does. She's, like, on her own terms.
To be fair, there was a video shown of Kevin telling Nick and Lucy, like, oh, it's got to be AJ. It's got to be AJ.
Oh, okay. So
she did say, like, well, I'm going to go for AJ because he isn't really contributing to the team. You know, Mallory somehow thinks that it's going to be Cheaty for some reason, even though it clearly is not Cheaty. But she thinks that Cheaty has the least deep, the shallowest connections. Mallory also thinks that tribal council, she doesn't know what tribal council is.
That the talks,
she called it the talks, where you eliminate somebody. So Mallory is going to her first talks.
Wow.
So AJ probably also thinks it's talks too. Like, oh, talks. Like, talks are where you talk and network with people, right? And they're going to write my name down on a name tag. And, like, I think AJ and Mallory are thinking this is something different. You know, they think
they're on the same wavelength for sure.
Maybe Mallory talked to AJ and said, so AJ, like, you know, are you excited to go to the talks tonight? He goes, yeah, you know, I'm excited to have a cohesive team and get to know people better and, you know, write our names on name tags and kind of go around. I think he's pretty confused that he has to write Daniel as name tag and then he doesn't get to keep it. He's like, why are you taking my name tag away from me and putting it in this box?
In this box? Yeah, so Cooper reads the votes. Kevin looks... Oh, so he's like, Cooper's like, anyone want to play an idol? Daniel doesn't even think to play his idol. And then Kevin looks so smug.
I know.
Like
I'm kind of glad Daniel didn't play a fake idol because that would have been really even more embarrassing.
Yeah.
It would have been totally a Jamie from China kind of. Mm-hmm. Oh, Dugan. What's the thing that Rob always says?
Dugan goes down.
Dugan goes down. That would have been Daniel goes down.
Mm-hmm.
That's our hashtag for if you watch this episode. Hashtag Daniel goes down. So tweet at us. Hashtag Daniel goes down. Or hashtag damn Daniel.
Damn Daniel.
Daniel got his torch snuffed.
Aww.
Very smart. That was very sad. The music and everything.
It wouldn't
like,
snuff.
You really feel for him. He really wanted to be there.
I know.
Even the torch knew. The island knows that Daniel did not deserve to go home.
Yeah.
It really did. The island was upset that night.
What could he have done differently?
Daniel, I think if he had stayed, he would have gone pretty far. I don't know. He seems like pretty well-rounded. Like, I feel like the first episode he seemed more like loud and kind of annoying, but like in this one he was more quiet and perceptive. I don't know. He's like he was very different this episode.
Yeah.
But what could he have done different though? It's what I'm kind of struggling with because it seems like a lot of it is due to Kevin.
I think
a lesser manner due to Sarah Avery.
I'm thinking so. The first day when he came up to the circle, he goes, "Oh, hi, Sarah." And a lot of people noticed and he gave Sarah A. So if they had kept that more secret, I think that could have been helpful.
Yeah. I do still think that, like, him telling Kevin that he knows Sarah Avery is probably a good move, though. Because it normally, like, that should incentivize Kevin to want to work with him. On the other side, like, sweet, that's a connection. Right. So, like, I actually would say that I think that was a good move on his part. I do wonder if he was actually talking to many people other than Kevin and Sarah Avery, though. Like,
that's true. I don't think we don't see a lot.
I don't know if he actually built the connections that he might have needed. Had he been really tight with, you know, AJ, then maybe those people refuse to vote for him. Or maybe they say, Bailey, that's not true. If there's more people sticking up for him, you know, Kevin makes up this lie. It's tough because if somebody makes up a lie about you, I mean, it's tough because you don't know this even happening. But there's more people that are sticking up for you than like if Nick was really incentivized to work with Daniel, like let's say they've been working together since day one, maybe Nick says, Kevin, like, look, Are you sure Daniel actually said that? Like, I don't think that Daniel actually would have said that. Maybe he calms down Bailey. Like, Bailey, I talked with Daniel. Daniel does not want you out. I don't know what Kevin is on right now. Because we did see Nick reached out to Daniel in the first episode. Remember how him and Kevin are talking? No, I wonder if Daniel actually responded or actually followed up on, like, yeah, Nick, let's build a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like looking through his video folder on Google Drive right now, and like it doesn't look like he really talked to anybody that week in that much, other than like Kevin and Bailey at the same time, which I think, and probably Sarah Avery as well. So I think that really kind of boils down to like one of the core things that we talk about a lot in this, and I think you talk about even Evolution of Strategy and a lot of other, cyber strategy, is the most important thing by far are those one-on-one relationships, like not in groups, not like meeting up with people in groups. It's building those one-on-one relationships, and that's what you really got to do, and you have to be active in maintaining those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It sucks. Daniel wanted to be there. He still was voted off by this like circumstances that really weren't fair. I don't think that he deserved to go home at all, and he really didn't do anything much wrong. There were some things he could have done maybe to help himself, but I mean, he's probably thinking like, I'm a hard worker. He's a likable guy. He's athletic. Like, there's no reason to want this guy off your tribe, like especially this early. That's the kind of person you might look at right before a merge and think this might be a threat. But first person you're voting off your team when there's one person that sat out and showed up half an hour late the first day, one person who hasn't done anything and did one thing in the challenge. Like, it really seems like there's a couple of obvious choices. Nick said there's two people he wants to get rid of so bad that he's upset he can't get rid of both of them. And then somehow neither of them go home. Like, that's just really unfortunate for Daniel. Really, just the wrath of Kevin kind of just struck him.
Yeah, and so I think at the end of the day, he got screwed by Kevin a lot, but also I think he could have had, like you said, more of an insurance policy against that and having close relationships with people outside of that core Kevin, Sarah group.
I think one of the things that we've talked about before is that we do kind of agree that every time you're voted off, there's always something that you can do that can help you not get voted off. Like, every time you're voted off, you can look back in your week and think, I could have made this thing. I could have done this differently.
I'm a
like, I don't think that you ever
in that. Yeah.
Do we want to quick do a 17th place second boot ranking?
Who was the second boot?
Jonathan.
Oh.
The 2 games of.
Wait, guys, stop. Bailey just responded to me. She said, I was not sick. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah!
Oh! I'm screaming. Oh my god.
Bailey, this all of a sudden is sick, but is actually fake and doesn't want to kiss me.
Dead.
So Nick has to be my guardian angel.
That's actually hilarious.
Hey, if she had kissed him, there would be no Nevin. So it all works out for the best.
Yes. I thought it was a little suspicious, but
definitely fishy.
I know. The way that Kevin said it seemed a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So 17th place. We have Jonathan and Daniel. Like, who was the better player?
So my gut's telling me right now for sure. I think Daniel.
I think Daniel too. I think Jonathan was a little too. I don't know. He was a little too all over the place.
Yeah.
Easily. I think he's very emotional. Like, he'd be a really emotional player. I think Daniel would have been a little more strategic, a little more perceptive. I don't know. Like.
I think one thing just we can say about Jonathan, though, is that, I guess one thing we can say about both of them is that they both got into 3-person alliances, out of the gate.
Right, yeah.
And Jonathan's never turned against him. It was more the people not in his alliance turned against him.
Right.
So I don't know which one's better or worse. Like, I feel like you could almost make an argument for Jonathan if you really wanted to get cute with it. But I just feel like Daniel playing on his second time would be better than Jonathan on his second time. Like, I feel like Daniel knowing that, like, Daniel playing without the threat of Sarah Avery on the other tribe and stuff, and kind of knowing maybe to reach out to more people, I feel like he might, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah.
I agree. Also, just letting the listeners know that Sam had to leave, but you have the 2 best people anyways.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding. We don't even like
I don't even like Sam.
I don't even like Sam.
All right, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're pretty close, but I think Daniel in general would be overall better at Survivor.
Yeah. I think if you run both of their seasons like 100 times,
Yeah.
Daniel gets further more often.
Yes. Agreed. Although they're both very entertaining.
Definitely.
Okay, so we have a special segment this time. It's actually somebody on our Survivor Michigan team who kind of gave us some of his top moments of the episode. And I think in general, this might be some fan favorite moments in general. This is our good friend Austin's ranking. He has some Survivor blogs you should definitely check out. They're really cool. He's very passionate about Survivor, so we thought he'd have him do a little bit of a best moments. So check out our social media for Austin's full top 5 moments. He actually wrote them pretty detailed and really funny, but we just don't have time to read them all right now. So definitely make sure to check out our social media for the full effect of Austin's top 5 moments. The number 5 best moment of the episode was the blind side in general and Kevin making a move on Daniel. He thought number 4 was Kevin and Sarah finding the idol and planting a fake, with actually the fake idol being found by Daniel. And
number 3, the bunnies forming.
Oh.
Which, we definitely love here at KYTL seeing how we're 3 of those 5.
Yeah. We love a good bunny alliance.
And, as he says, our goal, the Bunny Alliance's goal is to break up the budding showmance, flirtmance, whatever mance between Maggie and Jeremy. So,
and what is their ship name?
Oh, yeah. Austin proposes, he proposes Magmy or Jergy, and then he ends up going with Jergy.
Jergy, okay.
Yeah.
We love a good jergy.
Love the jergy.
Number 2, poop on a stick, said by Nick. Oh, that rhymes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're able to get some more context on poop on the stick, even though it ended up just confusing me even more.
And then, drum roll.
Number 1 moment.
The Scavenger Hunt. Honestly,
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it seems this is a really popular challenge amongst a lot of people.
Both the seasons we've run it so far have been so much fun.
Yeah, it's just a lot of funny clips that come out of this.
Yeah, we got Bailey doing the cinnamon challenge, which we don't get as much life-threatening stuff as we did with Mitch, but it was still pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wait, how did we not talk about this earlier with Mallory and you? This is honestly, this might be one of my favorite scenes of the whole episode. We see Mallory being so cautious and scared about eating one single walnut, and then being, like Austin says, a goody little two shoes. But she also has a bit of a rebellious streak. And then we see you, Sarah Z, eat a whole sandwich. You just don't give a fuck.
I give 0 fucks. Yep. I just had a breakup. Do I give any fucks? No.
You're like, come at me. I'm eating a sandwich in the law library. You're pushing the sign forward.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the number 1 moment. You can let us know what your favorite moment was.
Yeah. I
think overall, great episode. Next week's, though, I'm telling you.
Oh, wow.
Next week's is really good. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited, too. And I think we might have to have a 3-hour podcast next week.
Oh, yeah. Easily a 3-hour podcast. And we're gonna start to have some guests on, don't worry.
So, yeah, without Sam here, it's just poop on a stick and poop on a brick left. So, thank you guys for listening to this whole episode.
Bye. So, I'm poop on a brick, right? You're poop on a stick?
I mean, if the stick is a better one, then yes.
All right, fine.